Welcome to Wigglesticks TV.
So this week we're going to have a look at the electrical system. Got the main wiring harness over here, a bunch of sensors and switches here, the ignition bypass switch and the side stand bypass switch are there. I've got some custom ignition switches and things like that to turn things on and off, toggle switches. This is the main, the second harness that goes into the clocks and fuses and all that kind of stuff up front. Headlights that we're not using. Got a bunch of ignition switches as well, and then we've also managed to wire to test the regulator rectifier. That's putting the correct current and everything is according to the manual. We've got the correct battery in here now, and then the CDI unit is also in. Yeah, so that will be the challenge for this week, is to try and get the harness run in here and turn the clock, see if the clocks and everything will actually turn on and function. See if we can get power through the harness and make sure it all works as it should so far, without an engine, obviously. That's what should be here. So yeah, I forgot I had this other harness. This is supposedly from a race bike or a track bike of some kind. It's missing a bunch of components that you don't need for a track bike. The main concern I have with it is that this section of the harness here has been quite heavily hacked together, where the stator and the rectifier and everything plug into the main power supply, and then a lot of the connectors and stuff are very, very dirty. Just try to put some more light on there. Yeah, I've got a lot of grime on there, so I just think it would. Just not sure how much work this one will actually need to get it functioning, and then if I actually trust the harness itself. But you can see all the dirt and grime and stuff that would have to get taken off this one, and then it's just the general state of the wiring. I'm not really sure. So I've decided to try to have a look at this race wiring harness and actually see what the mess is that's going on here. I think the mess really is into this part here. So this should connect to the regulator rectifier, and then there should be 3 other wires somewhere in the harness that go back to the stator. So I'm not exactly sure what is happening down in this section here. It looks like a bit of a tangled mess, so I'm just going to unpack some of this aftermarket kind of electrical tape and actually see where some of these wires go, because I think I would like to run the stator. Just makes more sense to me, I think. So we'll see how we go. So what a mess. Gradually cleaning this up. Pretty sure this is for the CDI unit here. I think this is the rear brake and indicators. This I think goes to the rectifier regulator, but we are missing the 3 wires that come out from the stator. So I'm just trying to track those down at the moment. And try to figure out what's going on with all these wires that are spliced together. But we will keep investigating. It's a little bit unclear exactly what's going on, but so I've just pulled out the front wiring harness, which is harness number 2 on the diagram, into the back of the dash. We've got the headlight that we're not using with the indicator that I've just tied up. This is probably a flasher relay, I'm guessing. The fuses I'll probably keep, and then the rest of these go back into the main harness. So I've just about finished cleaning all these up. I'm going to wrap some different tape and stuff around there just to keep it clean, mainly up around this end piece here, and then I will connect this into the back of the speedo cluster here, and then get cracking onto trying to finish to see what else is going on with the main wiring harness, which I am still in the process of sorting out. So the first part of the wiring harness is about to go in. Line the clip up the right way. Yeah, she's in there. So yeah, first piece of the harness is in. This is the side light, which was on the UK models only as far as I can tell. I'm not sure if this, whatever this thing is called, is supposed to be plugged in here, but it was just hanging loosely on the harness, so I just plugged it in here just to see, just to keep it out of the way. The flasher relay we won't need, so I'll tidy all these. I'll either remove the relay completely and yeah, just tidy all this stuff up, probably somewhere in this front area, and then I will re-wrap this bottom section here just to make it look a little bit nicer, but that'll actually plug in underneath there. It can just hang there for the moment. So yeah, getting there slowly but surely. So we've pretty much finished cleaning the entire wiring harness. I've got all the sensors that I can find and are kind of freestanding plugged in. Brake switch, throttle position sensor, the earth leads, these are for the carb heaters, fan switch, speed sensor. This plugs into the front part of the wiring harness, rear brake light plus the tail lights, and then the pulse generator coil, the neutral switch, side stand switch, a couple of the relays, and then this goes back into the the CDI and the main starter solenoid fuse kind of system. So yeah, we're pretty close. I'm pretty happy with the rest of this harness. It's all clean. The main issue now is I just need to go back and tidy up this section in here that is a little bit messy, which will mainly just mean soldering the stuff that isn't soldered and then retaping it or putting some heat shrink and stuff over it. It's sort of mainly just cleaning up this, so this connection here where it's been bridged by this black piece of wire. So yeah, I'll probably leave that until tomorrow. It's pretty much taken me all day to clean. It's probably a whole day's work just to clean the harness. So finally managed to finish cleaning out this section of the harness. Just retaped or heat shielded all of the exposed wires where I could, and really just tried to clean up the way all the wires went into everything else. So I've just got the rectifier regulator part left to go, which I'll do in a second, but it's coming together pretty well. One thing we figured out the other day, what this actual thing is, it's the temperature sensor part out of the carb heater unit out of a UK loom. So we don't need that because we are in Australia, obviously, and this loom is from the UK, so we don't have to worry about that at all. So mystery is solved, and yeah, we are just ready to tape this section up here now. Trip down to the hardware store. We now have plenty of electrical tape, so you can finish wiring, wrapping up the harness, and then we shall get it into the bike today. Yeah, here we go. So wiring harness, or the main wiring harness, is complete, completely rewrapped and cleaned. We go from the tail light connectors and the blinkers, plugs into the CDI unit. Then we have the pulsed generator coil, the main relays and fuse, solenoid or whatever it's called, neutral switch, side stand switch with a little bypass plug in there, so you don't need it. The regulator rectifier has been wired in, a new plug put on the end, and then this will go back into the stator once the engine arrives. Oil pressure switch, the solenoid, you have the speed sensor, and you come back into the main fuel pump, oil pressure. These, I thought last time, went to the carb heaters, but they actually go to the coils, which is good. Oil temperature sensor, sorry, coolant temperature, the throttle position sensor, brake light, earth, and then this is the fan. These ones I'm pretty sure are the carb heaters, and then these two plug into the temperature in the radiator, in the back of the radiator, and then these ones plug into the front harness. So yeah, it's cleaned up pretty well. I now have to figure out how it all mounts into the bike, but pretty happy to have finally got to the end of this thing. Yeah, when I bought it I thought it was a race one, but after looking through the harness, it's actually a fully usable UK harness with just a bit of messiness in the middle there that I cleaned up and have retaped. So yeah, it's ready to go back into the bike. So managed to get the completed harness in the bike. Obviously it's not routed correctly or anything at the moment, but it's all connected. Just missing the left hand switchgear block, which I have on order. I don't really need it, but since how this turned out to be a full harness, yeah, may as well use it. Everything works as far as I know. Obviously the stator's not connected, but the correct voltage and stuff is coming through to here.
Up here.
It's coming through to these plugs, so that fix was good. Yeah, the pretty cool thing is though, with the key switch eliminator. So pretty much it will start straight away. Lights come on. Yeah, it will eventually route with these other cables up through here, a press button starter and maybe a toggle switch or something. Just because, and I think it'd be sort of an interesting solution, but it's yeah, it's pretty good to have everything in and to actually know that the harness is solid. Well, at least is without an engine and the rest of it in there to connect to see if it works. But we'll go about reducing things that we don't need at some point. But for today, it's good to see that it all works. Yeah, and very, very happy with the outcome that this little light comes on over there when I click the starter button. And you can hear the relay or something, or whatever it is up here, activating when I hit the button. So it's a good sign. So yeah, we'll start to plumb it in correctly over the next little bit, and yeah, it's a good outcome, I think. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for everyone who subscribed. We're over 50 subscribers now, so it's not too bad for a little COVID project, I think. So thanks everyone, and I'll see you next week.